Welcome to the Coaching Business Spotlight Show. I'm your host, Kat Connect, and today we are continuing our summer theme, Back to Basics, where I intend to cover what I have found are essential but often missing elements in how coaches think. It's how they think as well as what they do when building a successful coaching business. On my last show, I reviewed some of what I think of as basic. Things like having a niche and a message and a marketing plan that you can implement using your own strengths, as well as the support you need to really make that dream a reality. Today, I'm going to continue the theme with the help of a brilliant man who I have talked to about this before. We're going to put our heads together and see what we can come up with because he shares my passion for bringing what I think of as a practical message to coaches who feel stuck or confused or in need of inspiration in this area of business building for coaches. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I came across a post in the Kick-Ass Coaches Facebook group. So if you are a coactive coach, you might know about this. You probably do. It is thousands of coactive coaches who connect around their coaching journey. And in this post, my guest wrote about his view on the coaching mindset and how there are the coach training schools who can be brilliant, like Coactive Training Institute is, but there's this disconnect that happens between the training to be a coach and actually succeeding as a career in business. So I read this with great interest, and there was a lot. I mean, I love the way it all gets, people get all riled up about it and they have opinions about it. And I understand that frustration because there is somehow a disconnect between these two areas in coaching. So in my own personal journey, which I highlight in my book, Evolve Your Coaching Business, mirrors what my guest said in that post. And I also felt much of what I heard in that post, that disappointment. And there is a disappointment because somehow coaches often get this thought that having a business is going to be really easy, or it's all going to be so easy. And it's just not. It takes work and effort and all the things that anything takes that's worthwhile. So I have found my own way to success as a professional coach, as a leader for the Coaches Training Institute, and in my business academy for coaches. I've helped hundreds of coaches succeed, but I've also seen hundreds of coaches fail or just plain give up on their dream. So today, my guest and I are going to discuss what we think coaches need most right now to get them from coach training to succeeding in a career as a coach. And my guest is Charlie Jett. Here's a little bit about him. He is a graduate of the United States Naval Academy and Harvard Business School, right? He knows a few things. He has had a multifaceted career: military service, corporate consulting, entrepreneurial innovation. He's a former officer in the U.S. nuclear submarine force. Very interesting. He's widely regarded as a Cold War hero, credited with developing the covert system used to track Soviet submarines and designing the training program that prepared the United States submarines for a high-stakes covert mission. And after military service, Charlie transitioned to the corporate world, management consulting. There's so many things, I know. He has a whole work based around critical skills development that I just found fascinating. I was on his podcast once. He has the author of 6 books, and he's here to talk to us about coaching. And that's where I'm going to start. Welcome to the show, Charlie. It's so good to have you.
Thank you very much, Kat. And it's delightful to be back with you again.
Yay. So how did you get introduced to the coaching profession?
Well, I got introduced to it quite by accident, although partially in my career, I was always doing career counseling when I was in executive recruiting business, always giving people tips and so forth on how to get ahead in the corporate world. And I actually did a lot of speaking for about 10 years to the major business schools like Harvard and Stanford and those about how to get ahead in the corporate world. And so it was natural and something I really loved. But how I got involved in the coaching industry was by accident. It was because we were a block away from the Hilton Hotel in downtown Chicago, and they were doing we had a guest who was attending some strange coaching training program. done by what she said, CTI. And so my wife and I got in. And that we thought, why not try? So we went to the fundamentals and I was hooked.
Mm.
Oh, I went through the whole course, then did the certification thing. Really, really fell in love with helping young people become coaches and also people who are stuck and frustrated in their jobs, which is something I also.
I love that story, Charlie. It's just like somehow the Coactive Training Institute, especially just and other coaching schools I know, kind of catch. It's like, oh, there's something there that I really that sparks something. And what you're talking about so often, I hear and know it's true for me as well. Is we want to help. There's a real desire to serve that
Yeah,
coaching helps us to do.
yes, and
But
I see so many people graduating from these programs with stars in their eyes and all
Mhm.
sorts of great enthusiasm with this fantastic training,
Yeah.
and they go into the certification programs and then finish that and then go home and the phone doesn't ring. And
I just want to stop you right there. We'll go further, but it's like, yeah.
yeah, it
And
doesn't.
so what is that about that there's even an expectation that the phone would ring?
Well, I think they come with the misinterpretation that if you become a trained coach, business is going to come naturally. But
Right.
what they don't really understand is that the real work starts after you get certified,
Mm.
and that getting clients is not automatic. And because clients do not just buy your credentials and so forth, they buy solutions to their problems. They will
That's right.
help.
That's
It's
right.
all about them. And that's what these young coaches have got to learn, and that's how they have to focus their marketing.
So we're going to unpack that because you and I totally are in agreement about that. There is some myth. So I want to start with like, let's bust that myth. I would love to have that. If there was one thing I do, Charlie, in my work, it's that I would love to see that someday this is no longer actually a thinking that coaches have. That, oh, the phone's going to ring. Oh, I'm trained as a coach. And therefore, that means something to other people because it doesn't. And what you're saying is so super important. This is true about human nature. I just had this recently. I had an injury. I was in a lot of pain. I went to the doctor. I just wanted pain medication. I was just like, I did not care. What is it? $500, $1,000, whatever. I want it because I'm having pain.
You
Right.
want relief. You want relief.
That's right. That's right.
And coaches have got to understand that it's all about the client. When they
Mm.
talk to a prospective client and so forth, the client doesn't care what kind of letters a person has behind their name, where they were certified, where they went to school. They want to know how this person can help them. And if you can get that message across quickly and honestly to someone, they will be interested in learning more about you as a possible coach.
I love the combination that you just brought. I want to unpack it a little bit. How
Okay.
we get the message across quickly and was the word you used? Like honestly,
Hmm.
because that's where I think there's another myth in the coaching world is that it's like an either or. Either I'm going to, have to, I don't know, lie, but exaggerate or say something false because so much of marketing is that. I mean, really out there in the world, we get told a lot of things that aren't true in order for us to buy something.
Absolutely. And if you can connect with an individual and become congruent with their particular pain point immediately,
Oh,
they'll want to talk to you. For example, if you come on an elevator and say, somebody says, "What do you do?" And you say, "Well, I am a certified coactive coach. I have my CPCC, my blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera." That means nothing. But if you, for example, one of my small niches is if I get on the elevator and I say, I help Chicago based Harvard MBAs who are frustrated and stuck in their jobs find clarity and a way forward.
mhm.
That's all I have to say.
That's right.
And if that's them, they want to know more.
That's right.
They
That's
don't
that.
care. They want,
That's what we're really going for is
yeah,
tell me more.
right.
And something you bring in there, Charlie, there's a little storytelling in it. It's about communicating a real human experience. I think that's another important piece for coaches to know is that marketing of your business is about telling a story about other people, about telling people. In a way, I see it as coaches, our job is to help our clients be seen and known and feel good about themselves and who they are and what's possible. In our
Absolutely.
marketing, it's the exact same thing. You want to tell people, I understand your problem. I get where you are. I see where you're stuck.
And it's all
Yes.
about you.
It's all about you. And there's hope in that,
Yes.
right? We want to hear, oh my gosh, somebody actually gets me.
Yeah.
They see me. They understand where I am. And they're offering something that's going to be valuable and useful for me.
Absolutely. You are giving them hope or a possibility of not waking up in the middle of the night and worrying about something. You are giving them a relief from their pain, like you mentioned earlier. You're getting the pill in a way. Yeah, but
That's
you
right.
can't guarantee that they're going to be helped. You can offer. You're not a god. You're a coach, and you can't guarantee results, but you can say that you help people toward a solution to their problem.
And here's the thing. This is where it gets interesting and maybe a little sticky for coaches because I think, this is just my opinion. You tell me what you think, that we can say to people, here's a result you could get. Here's a result that is possible, in the world. Like I say to my audience, there's a possibility you could succeed as a coach and have a thriving coaching career.
Absolutely.
Is it for everybody? No. Is
Right.
it for the person who's not interested in doing any work? No. Right?
And they've got to face the realities. They've got
That's
to
right.
face this is not an easy business. For example, and these numbers are not pleasant, but of people who are first trained certified coaches and so forth, only about 20% over the first 3 years or so will earn enough to sustain a living. 80% don't. But in my goal, and your goal too, is to make that 80% number smaller.
Well, here's the other things, and this is in my book, and I put this message out there. I don't know why. I understood business before I became a coach. So that's one thing I had in my favor. I had an understanding.
From the Postal Service.
I was in the Postal Service. My first husband and I had a fruit business. I knew how long that took. You talk about something that takes a long time. An apple tree takes 10 years to get into full production. So I understand the length of time. I had a part-time job. That's what
Yep.
I did. I was like, okay, if I'm going to do this thing, I sold my house. I bought an apartment building. So I had incoming rent. I got a part-time job. It's like, yes, it's very, very rare, if not impossible, to make a full-time living right out of coaching school, just like any other profession.
Absolutely. Like a therapist or, some physicians and so forth.
Exactly. Doctors.
Yeah. And it's in a sense, it's easier for somebody in the trades,
Yes.
like a plumber or an
That's
electrician.
right. Much easier.
Yeah.
Much easier. Because here again, you bring up plumbing, because the pain is really.
I got a leak. Fix my leak.
And it's not, I mean, I don't know. Plumbing could be a fun job for some people, but coaching, here's the other piece. Coaching is so fulfilling
Absolutely.
that I think that coaches have some idea. Again, there's this disconnect. So I love the quote you brought on and the statistics. This is what happens. Coaches drop out. I have this issue in promoting my business because I have to find the coaches I work with want me to tell them that in 6 months' time, they're going to be, earning. I've had coaches come to me, Charlie, and they say, well, I earned $500,000 a year in my past career, and I'd like to do that in the next 6 months as a coach.
Right. Bring it on.
Okay, let's take a look at the math. Let's do some math. Like, how many clients would that be?
Right. That's really.
So it takes time.
Well, and there are other numbers too that are reality, because in order to get a client, first of all, have to generate some sort of appointment or some kind of a way you can have a communication with them.
That's
And
right.
the average numbers are, for every 10 appointments you have, you might get one client. And those are average. I mean, some people might get them in 5. But then some they're going to get them in 15. But the averages are about 1 in 10. So it's a numbers game in a sense. And in order to do that, it takes strategy.
Mm-hmm.
And I will, we've talked about niches and so before, but
Yes.
it takes defining your niche or niches so that you know how to go after your particular customer and speak their language. It's kind of like, if you're going to go hunting, you don't go to your front door with a shotgun, open the door and pull the trigger and
there's
and hope to hit a duck. I mean,
I've never heard that metaphor used. That's
yeah. And you sneak up on the dam and you peek over the and you
yeah.
go up and take a shot. If you've got to have your particular niches
And I want to add something because you do. I mean, this is 100% because then that 10 in 1 can get a lot smaller because then only people who are really specifically looking for and there's this phrase I like to use. They already have their hands in their pocket,
yeah,
pulling out their wallet, saying, "I'll pay you money for that. I need help with that." The money is the issue.
If you're speaking their language
Yep.
and can solve their problem or help them solve their problem,
Mhm.
they consider that adding value. And
That's
they're
right.
pay for value. And that's what you sell. You sell value.
You
And
sell value,
you're
sell.
worth.
And that's another. So I want to look at, I have this thought, Charlie, to unpack some of the things that like not to do. And that's one right there that again, if I had my way, if I were president of the coaches and they would all think like me, I would have them thinking like letting go of the idea that so I hear this all the time. Oh, I don't know if I am worth it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, you're not worth it. I mean, in some sense, what people aren't paying you to be worth it. They're paying you. They want to pay you to be helped.
That's right.
That feels like that's like a totally different mindset.
Yes, it does. They will pay you to be helped because you do add value to them and they want a way out of their misery. And I need one of the reasons that I focus on Harvard Business School MBAs in the Chicago area is because I'm one of those.
Mm-hmm.
I know where to find them.
Know where to find them, number one.
And I can target them and I speak their language and I know they've got money in their pocket.
There you go. Okay, so for everybody listening, I want you to rewind the tape and get those top tips. You want to know where, because again, Charlie, I have coaches and they're like, I would like my niche to be blah, blah, blah. And they don't know where these people are. They don't know how to get a hold of them. They don't know how, I'm like, well, you got to know. You can't. So one thing is you need to know where these people are, how to connect with them. I think anyway, that it's important that you have some connection to the people you want to serve. It doesn't mean you have to have been in their shoes 100%, but you need to be connected in some way.
You have to have almost felt it before, but then expanding on what you're saying, not only do you have a niche, but if you do have a niche, you know where to go to find them. And then you can create small systems and target them. For example, if you're going to use LinkedIn, you can join a group that has that pain. And then you can write a succinct article about that. You know where to target. You know how to get your message to these people. You're not just shooting with a shotgun. You actually, it's like, think of what Procter and Gamble would be if they didn't have niches.
I love, right, really just look around you at all the products that you buy and services.
Yeah.
And think about, why is it that particular product? Why is it that service? Because they're speaking to you.
Well, yes. I remember when I was a little kid, when Procter and Gamble came out with this shampoo. Well, somebody did first, but this shampoo that was targeted to people with dandruff.
Yeah, Head and Shoulders, right?
Shoulders, but actually, Emden came out with it first.
Okay.
But it didn't fail. It didn't succeed. And then Procter and Gamble did a lot of market research. And they decided that we're going to come out with Head and Shoulders and aim at that particular market.
So I have to just segue off of that because this is one of the things I recommended. No, you're just getting me excited. So it's like doing research This is one of my big recommendations when I'm working with a client who's building a business is to go out and find out
Yeah.
if these are the people. Go, like, you're a coach. Go get curious. Ask them questions. So you find out, what is their language? How would they describe the problem? What is it that they are? And you said this, I want to go back to something you said earlier. This is a question I have all my coaches ask in their research is, what would you be willing to pay money for? Like, what is it that you actually, and how much money would you pay for that? Like,
Well,
let's
that's
get to the
right.
money question out there.
And what you're doing, Kat, is you're identifying who is your consumer.
Yes.
That one word, the consumer, is the thing they beat in your head all year in marketing at the Harvard Business School. Who is your consumer? And if you know who your consumer is, you know what the message is that you can address their pain point, and you have help.
Mhm. Here's the other thing I want to add on to that, because I hear, so they say, but Kat, I want to help an underserved, segment of the society. I want to help people who maybe don't have that kind of money. And I say, well, that's great. Go out there, make the money from the people who do have money, and do some nonprofit work, do some
Right.
pro bono work.
Yeah.
Would never discourage somebody from offering a low ticket offer or absolutely free. I think it's actually part of our culture to give back and do something free, but you have to have the money coming in first.
Yes, I think that's a wise thing to do is get it coming in, and then you can be generous and give your product away.
So there's kind of layers I'm hearing as we're unpacking this. And I do, because I think of it, my terminology is from startup to sustainable. So there's also a mindset about, you're in a startup business. Like, how you do things, you have to put some time and effort into discovering your niche, really knowing where those people are, learning about how to market, how to get the message to those people and find out what they want and how to connect with them before you're going to get to, now I have a regular income and
Yeah.
I can totally support myself, and it's replaced my job income.
Well, that's just smart marketing. I'll give you a 20-second story very quick.
Okay, I want to hear it.
It's selling beer is really difficult because, who's the beer drinker? There was an awful lot of research done back in the 40s or 50s about who is the beer drinker. And the Schaefer Brewing Company found that the beer drinker was the one that would not be like me and have 2 beers a year, but be the poor guy that comes home from the factory and buys a 6-pack and goes home and drinks it.
Mm.
So if you want to sell that, they wanted to sell beer to that consumer. So their marketing slogan was, Schaefer is the one beer to have when you're having more than one. Talk about targeted marketing. That was really,
I never heard that one before.
that's one of the best advertisements ever, but we're getting off point.
Yeah. No, we're not off point at all. Because what you're saying is, it's important to, and when you're using the word target, actually have a message that connects with people who are willing to pay for your services.
Yes.
Who are willing. Like, that is not selling out on what's in your heart. It's making it a business so that you can help those people, and those people help the people in their world. And maybe those people also go on to help other people who are not, in the economic bracket that they're in.
And in part of that, Kat, one of the things to help you sell coaching and so forth is to give a prospective client an experience.
That's right.
Rather than talk theoretical of how coaching can help them, give them a free 30-minute session. And then, how was that for you? And then you can, if it was fine with it, well, what would you feel about working with me?
Mm-hmm.
But you don't try to say, okay, I'm a CTI certified coach and I do this and that and this and that. You don't do that. You give them an experience.
I have a training I call consultations that inspire and sell.
Yeah.
And I offer this free. It's a free training I do because of this very fact. We want to give people an experience, and you want to set it up. I'm going to give you an experience of what coaching could do for you, like how it will help you. It will help you. And it's a business proposal. Like, we don't want to hide that. There's nothing to be ashamed of in that, right?
Because then they have something they can feel. They know what the experience can be. And they know, did you get any value out of this?
Hmm.
Ask him, well, how would what would you think about working with me as your coach? And then another thing, two more points about this. Once you talk to somebody and you make them an offer or so, and they, 9 out of 10 are probably on average, you're going to say no, but never say no forever. Always look at it. It's not no for now, no for now. And then don't take it personally.
Don't take it personally.
Don't take it personally. Just
Oh
say
my gosh.
it happens. Okay.
And I know this has happened for me sometimes. Again, people, if they don't say yes now, maybe it's later. And
Absolutely.
sometimes, and they know somebody, they're like, this isn't actually for me. Coaching is not for everybody. So this isn't like we want to ram it down people's throats. Just think it's not for everybody. But doing sample sessions, doing consultations, having something really clear, I call it, this is a freebie. This is like getting a taste of ice cream when you go to the ice cream store, right? You see it in the case and you're like, "Ooh, that looks good." But when you get the taste of it,
Yeah.
then you're buying that ice cream.
That's
You're more likely to buy it. So
It's like going to the farmer's market and you go to the cheese
that's
place.
right.
They give you tastes of cheese and you buy a ton.
That's right.
And
That's right.
incredible.
Okay, so let's see if we can do this. What would be maybe let's do it this way. Yeses and nos. What would be the top 3 things you think coaches should do when starting out as a coaching business?
The top 3 things would be number 1, to identify your potential. Well, if you're just starting out, coach anybody that moves. Coach any with a pulse. So to get your 5 or 6 clients
Sure,
to start out practice. But if you're serious about the business, start focusing on your niche.
Mm.
Find out who is your tribe? Who are you? Who do you want to send your message to? And tailor that and try it. And if it doesn't work, then change it.
Yes, you could change it.
And then the second tip is recognize that in order to move ahead, like we were talking about a little bit earlier, toward a conversation about coaching, give them an experience.
Mm-hmm.
Offer an experience for free. And then another thing, and I had this thought a moment ago, never, ever bypass the opportunity to ask for a referral. If somebody says no to you, ask for a referral, because if you don't, they won't give you one. And if you do, there's a chance they will. I mean, so why not give yourself a chance?
I love that. That is a beautiful tip
Yeah.
because I have found this. We do need to be asked.
Yeah.
And when you ask, again, if you say, so is there somebody you know? I'd love to have a referral. If there's somebody you think this might be useful for, I'd love it if
Sure.
you referred me. And
Because if you've given them an experience
yeah.
and they liked it, in a sense, they owe you.
Hmm.
And in a sense, you're not asking for their money, you're just asking for a referral. And people are generally nice and generous, and chances are they will give you a referral. That's worked for me in the past.
It's worked for me. And sometimes I even set it up that way. I used to go to a lot of networking meetings and I'd say, or with family and friends, I'd love to just give you an experience of this in case there's somebody in case you or somebody might be interested.
Right.
So you take it and put it into what I think of as this is how businesses work.
Right.
And we happen to be in the experience business.
Another tip is, and this is something I'm not very good at, but there's lots of things I'm not very good at. But one of the things that you need to do is to keep track of who you're contacting, keep track of how many times you call your calls, keep your score. Get in the habit of doing that, because the old management principle is what gets measured gets managed.
Mm.
And then if you are finding out that something doesn't work, well, don't keep beating your head against the wall. Change it.
Well, there are a lot of different ways. I have a training I call inspirational entertainment. There are a lot of ways that we can market our business. And you're absolutely right. I have a client who's gone on to be very successful in her coaching career, does not like social media. She does not like it. And first thing she said, how am I going to succeed if I don't like social media? And I'm like, there are 500 other things you could do. There's lots of things. If it doesn't work for you, if you don't like it, don't give up. And like you said, beat your head against the wall, but find something that does work.
Yes, well, you can give speeches, you can give talks, you can write articles, you can go network. And if you network, make sure you have your niche down, and your irresistible offer, they might call it,
Right.
of how you help people. And then it's social media. You could do it by writing articles in LinkedIn and so forth are helpful. But when you write an article, if you can, always put something at the bottom of how they ask them a question,
Mm-hmm.
how they can help you. Or if you read an article on LinkedIn and you like it, then generate a positive response and ask a question. Because if you ask a question, you'll get a response, and you're starting to develop a relationship.
And here's what I'm laughing, because I think, what do we coaches know better how to do?
Yeah.
This is what we're trained. We know how to ask powerful questions and get curious. So it's like, don't leave your coaching hat at the door when you're marketing. Put that coaching hat on and get curious and ask those questions, and really
Absolutely.
honestly be interested in what people are up to and what they have to say. That's something you do really well, Charlie.
Well,
You
let me ask
inspire
you,
me with that.
can I ask you a question?
Okay, this is where we're going to wrap up in about 1 minute. So here we go.
Okay, my question to you is, what is the thrill that you get out of coaching other than you make money at?
Oh my gosh, the thrill I get out of coaching is that I get to experience as a coach other people kind of coming from their very best self. Has how I think of it, like their higher self, that part of them that is most wanting to be expressed in the world in a way that they get into action
Yeah.
and they bring a change, like something really changes for them and for the world. So I
Yeah.
get excited because I get to witness that, I get to encourage that, and then I see it happening. And then the next call, they're like, oh my gosh, I just got 3 new clients, and not just so again, not for them, it's not just the money too, because it's like, and they're like, and I love what I do, and I'm so happy, and I'm feeling, so it's seeing that another person really come into that self that is most expressive and fulfilled.
I love that. And we're talking this morning with a client, and it's a certification client. And when I do that, why I also include business development in that, like you do.
Right. That's what I do. Yeah.
And the thrill I get out of it is at the end when they get their, not just their CPCC from CTI, but they get their certification from the ICF, either
Yes.
ACC or their PCC. And then they've got some sort of a business going that I've helped them with.
Mhm.
I walk away from that not feeling like, hey, I've made some money out of that client. I look at the smile on their face.
Mm.
And I always like to send them I buy them a mug
Oh.
that has AC or PCC on it. On the other side, it's their name. And that's their gift at the end of the
Oh,
end.
that's so special.
It's cheap.
I
It's
love that.
inexpensive, but
I love that.
it's cheap, but it's something they really remember.
Yeah. And I see that it lights you up.
It
You and I do have this in common.
absolutely
It's like something actually happened in the world.
yes. And
And
you made somebody else happy, and you've made somebody else worthwhile.
hmm,
And you can feel it, Kat. You can,
well, that's why we're here doing this, isn't
you
it?
got it, pal.
That's
You got it.
right. All right. I got to wrap this up. All this information is comes along with this podcast, but just out loud, tell people your website where they can find out more about you.
Okay, it's just very simple. It's Charlie Jett Coaching. That's CHARLIE JETT, charliejettcoaching.com.
Go check it out, people. You can see how
Check
brilliant Charlie is. All
Uh,
right. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Come next time. We're going to be unpacking the basics of a coaching business.